YouTubies, I think I got another good idea. You remember the LS swap Suburban we worked on a couple weeks ago? It needs some exhaust. So what I did is I bought me a kit for a Squarebody 4-wheel drive Suburban pickup. They all are pretty much the same. I also, got catalytic converters for the 6.0. That's right, because we're gonna need those. As well as a nice, beautiful set of some glass packs. Now this is all the goodies that we'll be looking at to play with today, or at least in this video. These are them catalytic converters. The silver pipes here, that was the kit. You can see they already come pre-bent. We're just gonna have to weld them together. And these big red things, clearly glass packs. All right. Now, looking at these goodies here, you can see that this catalytic converter setup goes down into one pipe, and we have 2 sections of pipe here on the ground. That's because we're gonna be mixolating on these exhaust system setups or whatever. So I'm gonna chop these here, and essentially this one I have to chop here because it's in a bend. I want it to go straight. So I have to re-weld this bung in for an oxygen sensor. Doesn't seem that hard. I also already have been laying under the truck for the last hour and a half, 2 hours, trying to fit all these pieces onto which side because they don't come with a good diagram. The pieces aren't labeled, so you're kind of just eyeballing all this off a picture that they gave you. This picture, as you can see, there's not much labeling. They got labels here for A, C, D, J. But there's like absolutely nowhere that has a letter or anything on any of these pipes. So what I did was I just looked and said this one has a little wobble over and then a wobble over. That looks like that one. So that must be the driver's side here. And then this one had this crazy little, and that one looked a little crazier on this side. So I said, yep, that's passenger. And then we need the mufflers next, of course. And we got our extension pieces here that are bent exactly the same. So I figured, does it matter which side to go on? Nope. And I stuck them. Then they got these arches here. And that was really what was confusing me up under the truck. I was trying to get them to lay right and then the other end moving. Well, it turned into a mess. But I think I found them, the idea of what they're supposed to look like. And now I'm gonna chopulate these catalytic converters and then mount them to the manifolds so that I work this way and it's solid. It doesn't move the last piece I just touched. All right? I am not claiming to be a professional exhaust guy by any means. I just like to do it myself. And honestly, as my time of working on cars here, exhaust is like one of my favorite things to do. Even though I gotta lay on the ground and I get up and down and in and out and, a lot of welding mask on and off. But I enjoy it. It takes something that sounds usually like doo-doo and make it sound like good. So, I don't know. Now, I'm not I am not claiming to be a professional exhaust guy by any means. I just like to do it myself. And honestly, as my time of working on cars here, exhaust is like one of my favorite things to do. Even though I gotta lay on the ground and I get up and down and in and out and, you know, a lot of welding mask on and off. But I enjoy it. It takes something that sounds usually like doo-doo and make it sound like good. So, I don't know. This shall be the driver's side. We're gonna start with the driver's side because that's your side, right? It's more important than the passenger side. Anyway, we got it mounted up in the vise here. We're just gonna cut her with the old slice and dicer, the GMC kind. And in no time, we got 2 pieces that we only need one with. All right. So, dilemma number 1 here is our cat is already hitting our shackle here. If you come back a little further, she's like aimed right here, which I don't know if that's good or bad. And up here, we're sealing on one side over here, but not over here. So I think what I'm gonna do here is chop this flange off and bring her down a little more straight like. I've been at it a little bit. I forgot about you guys because I got active and motivated and I kept going. But here is the driver's side. Didn't look too bad. So you guys know that I did come down and I hit the frame-a-lator, so I had to come out and around it, right? And then this guy, this is about where that cross member is. So I had to fit it up in there nicely. So I had this little piece here from when I cut off here. We extended her and bent her over, and I put a little pie piece in here. A little bit. I did some tacking, you know, some lights, just some quick zips. And then I figured, before I get too far ahead, maybe I ought to try and look at the passenger side. So I sliced off the whole passenger section that I could, and I snuck her up in there, and it fits. All right, it fits, but it doesn't. But it really doesn't fit at the same time. So this guy needs to be extended 4 to 6 inches. Not very much. So I'm gonna slice this guy off. I'm gonna do 2 cuts. So I cut out this weld. I'll cut right above here. Get this piece off. And then I'll go down there. I'll take a proper measurement on how long of a piece I need and weld it back together. And I also noticed that the catalytic converter here is not being friendly, okay? So it's hitting the frame on this side, and like the fuel lines come right above these puppies, and they're like right above it. So I'm also gonna slice and dice the catalytic converter off, both sides. We're gonna slice it off, and then we're just gonna rotate it, you know? Rotate it, maybe this way. I don't know which way, but we're gonna move it one way so it lets the air flow and we can get our hands up and around and reach the fuel lines in the future. And I knew that I was gonna have to do some fancy footwork on the driver's side when I bought all this stuff, but that's fine. I didn't expect much on the passenger side, and I will say it's still easier than the driver's side, so I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna run. Now when I did get the driver's side all mocked up, well, tacked together, I stuck her in there and bolted her in real quick, and I also took the rest of the pieces from the driver's side from that kit and I shoved her back under the truck so I can fit them in there, and I can try and figure out where I'm gonna slice and dice these two pieces together, which it looks like it's gonna happen right about here in the cross member area. So that's a win. And at that point I will have to reduce down like 1/4 inch, not very much. We're going like 2.5 to 2 1/4 here. So I'm gonna have to go get those reducers to shrink her down a little bit, and we'll be home free. One side will be ready to go. So instead of getting the one side done, I figured I should probably do the passenger side, and that's where I jumped in and started working on the catalytic converter on the passenger side. And shoot, it turned out easier than I thought it was gonna be, so I'm just gonna run with it, and I'm gonna do that part for right now. Sliced and diced. Now I got my few pieces here. I'm gonna lay on the ground underneath the truck, and where's my tape measure? Measure how long we're gonna need. All right. Oh, there's my tape measure. So 3/3 was the measurement. And that measurement should start here, at, you know, because it flares out, and that's where the other stops. And then go to here. Okay. And then I had this one with this big old bell end here, and this bunghole is in the way. So I just chopped an ear off, and then I'll weld that on. But before I do that, let's go down, check and see if my measurement looks halfway decent. And then we'll come back and we'll chop off the catalytic converter, and then we'll do some tack welds, and then we'll figure out how our catalytic converter should sit happily in the truck, right? Yeah, that's the plan. Plan never goes as planned. So it just so turns out I liked it. So what did I do? I sent some tack welds on it. So I got 2 pieces that I like. Now it's time to put this puppy in the clamper downer and do some slicing on both sides. And do some rotating. Go figure out where I like it, draw some lines, come back, tack it back on. Cat cut out, and I did label so the flow would go a certain way. And I did already come in and out and down and up and, you know, do all the measurement stuff. So I came in here, got my lines, and that's where I'll be tack welding her together. I do got a little bit of a gap to fill there. That's okay. Have you ever seen the inside of a cat before? That's what it looks like. Just some sort of honeycomb. Got my light on the other side. You could barely even see the little dot in there. That's wild. And in no time later, we have 2 catalytic converter setups ready to go. Here's driver side, as you seen earlier, and now this is the passenger side. Ooh, doggy. Now this side still needs a little extension to be able to put the plug in, you know, like this one. So that'll be a little extension, but I don't know if you can look out that big door over there. It's dark. It's getting late. So I'm gonna pack up my stuff and call it a night, and we'll try again tomorrow. New day, same task. I gotta set up over here on the ground again because I don't have a welding table, you know? So it's fine. We'll just sit on the ground and do this. But I'm gonna start here with, I think welding these puppies up because I think I like them. I was happy with them last night. So I'm just gonna send them, make them, that's how they're gonna be. And then we'll continue from there. I also forgot to mention, man, I got me a new welder. It's the Forney Easy Welder, the 140 MP. It was decently priced, okay? It was affordable. And it's an upgrade from the old Harbor Freight Chicago electric style one I was using. And just from using it yesterday, wow, way better. Works way better. So I'm not dogging on a Chicago Electric, okay? Because it did its job for many jobs. But I'm happy to upgrade here. I like it, way smoother. So let's get to work. Bang. That took a bit of time. But we have two fully welded catalytic converter setups. We've got some decent welds here, there-ish, you know, not great ones. And then we got this really ugly one right here. Just look at that ugly frickin' thing. Dang! She'll hold though. So now that I feel they're strong enough to put some weight on, I could bolt these puppies up to the motor real fast and figure out where the rest of the pieces are gonna cut and slice and dice together and stuff, you know. So a little thinking is coming, processing, and I'll let you know what I'm gonna do soon. We're down here. We haven't gotten very far. It seems like we've gotten further on camera than in person, but this is where we're at. We got manifold, catalytic converter, and then now we got the muffler to sneak on here. And I got my line drawn out because that's kind of where I want her to sit, so she's not all wonky, you know, because there's a lot of wiggle room. I just want it to sit right there so it stays above the frame and goes parallel with the frame. So we'll go take this puppy out here, tack her on, and then we'll deal with that last little section there. Made a little mistake. I realized that my piece here is long enough that sneaking it in around this cross member, it's already too tight. So if I were to add this another 2 feet of muffler here by welding it, I'm not getting that whole pipe in without taking this cross member out. And I don't want to have to do that. That's a whole lot of extra work. So instead, I'm just going to put a clamp right here. And I sliced and diced 4 little lines here to be able to pinch it together so this wasn't so far down. And it brought her right back to plane. Put that muffler right at the bottom of that frame like I wanted. And we have wiggle room to deal with it still. So I'm pleased with that. Now I just gotta start thinking about the rest of this stuff back here. Seeing if I like how that all lays out. So far, I'm happy with it. Could it have been way better? Well, yeah, I don't do this every day. But for a do-it-myselfer, it's perfect. Dang, I'm on day 3. And I was hoping that I would get this done on the 2nd day. Oh well. That's okay, I got decently far. And I packed her up early yesterday to go visit with some family. So it was really nice to see him, because it's been a while since we've seen him. Anywho, I did get the rest of the tailpipe tacked in all the way. And I did get one hanger on it right about in this area somewhere. I don't, you know. And this is what I'm dealing with at the moment. That this bottom pipe here, and that's the one that's on the pipe, she's just, you know, too forward. So I grabbed, so yesterday I was thinking, man, I'm gonna have to do some slices and dices or some heat in the middle and bending her out. And I came in this morning and I seen the other piece laying there, and I was like, well, maybe, what if I got the little 90 pieces switched out? So I laid it up here, and I got that part of the pipe back there as straight as I could to the eyeball. And, you know, just look at the angle difference here. This one looks more correct than that one. So I think I'm gonna chop off my tack welds on this guy, and then we'll swap it out for this one. And then we'll jump to the other side, and maybe I can get it all tacked in and fired up by the end of the night. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Okay, so I messed up yesterday and put one of these little clamps on to hold it together, so whatever. And I came in today and I couldn't get them apart. Man, I got so frustrated. I had to sit down in my foldy chair and I called Cody and I said, man, I need help because this is making me mad, okay? So he was on his way and I sat down on a chair, had me a nice warm snack, put my attitude right in check, and we got back to work, got the sucker right out, and I got this side fully welded. Boom! And we're gonna have one clamp in there, so it's easy to work on. But it's in. I'm happy with it. You can see the pipe here. She's just dangling. I don't know if you can see that bubble, but she's just a little. And that's because I want it going just a little downhill, because when cars are running right, there's just a little bit of water that comes out of those tailpipes, okay? So I don't want it to stay in there. So now this side is put together. I can move on to the passenger side. We're gonna start with the catalytic converter that we welded up the other day. That's laying on the ground. We're gonna bolt that sucker up real fast. Get her somewhat in place. Because we have to chopulate. I'm gonna cut this one down a little bit. I'm assuming here-ish. And then that's gonna connect this pipe to this pipe over here. And then this, we'll use this little bell end as a reducer. And then we'll figure out the rest as it goes. But now I got help so I can hold another end, so this side should go way faster. Here's the view from down under. You can see that pipe just choop, right up over the rear end and then disappear behind this draft shaft in our muffler. And this is where I'll put the clamp so we can take it apart maybe. And then it just sneaks up on along. And we run into our catalytic converter. And then up to the motor, right? Now I do need to add a bung here or here for the oxygen sensor. And that's the only thing left to do on the driver's side, minus making it look pretty. Man, I gotta tell you already, having Cody's help is just way better, okay? So, if you intend on doing your own exhaust at home, have a buddy come over for the weekend and have a good time. Have some cold snacks and some warm snacks and stuff. Because a one guy task, if you don't know what you're doing, is not easy, alright? I said one guy, but this is actually a two guy task. Because we don't know what we're doing. Now, if you know what you're doing, it's a one guy thing, no problem. Maybe a lift will make it easier. But I don't see that around here. So, this guy held this puppy up here right where I needed her. And I lost my next piece. But I made some measurements here. I call them measurements, but they're really just lines. I'm gonna slice and dice this puppy right here. These 3 lines are my alignment lines for my next piece where I want it to sit perfectly. We'll tack that puppy back in, put her back under there. I'll let you guys see what I'm dealing with. Cody grabbed our piece for fitment. Now you can see my lines because you see the bend in her. It needs to sit in a specific spot. And because I put a little bit of a bend in her. Now not too much because we don't want this to shrink up and create a heat spot. But it's already reducing right there. So it's already going to create a little bit of a heat spot. So putting a little bend in it. Oh well. So now we're going to tack her and test fit. So I said I was going to tack it right. I got carried away. It's all the way welded. So I guess it's gonna fit and it's gonna be right. It's gonna be correct. Period. Alright, we're down under here. Here's our cat. We got her up under here. And we had to take these 2 bolts out and let this lean down to be able to get her in here. And she did come up. She had a wicked angle going up here. So we're gonna put some slices in it, bring her down a little bit. And I don't like how close it is from here to here. So I'm gonna bring it over just a little bit. And we also had this whole section mocked up, ready to go. You can see our little clamp ready. And we drew our lines on her. Now we're gonna go out and tack it together. And this time I actually mean tack because the last one was a little wrong. All right, so yeah. Plans have changed. It's a new day. I have to admit, I had to call it a day yesterday because, well, first of all, I had to go pick up the girlfriend from work. And second of all, yesterday was not going well for me. Everything fought me. Even with Cody's help, my mind was not in the right spot. And that's honestly probably just because I miss my puppy dog. But I gotta keep my mind off that, all right? So, anyways, I'm working along here. And, well, I didn't like what I did yesterday. Let's just put it like that. All right, so first of all, you know the cat that we got up to this point. And lay down here with me, just lay down, get cozy. 'Cause I don't know if you could see this, but this guy had came straight out, and I didn't like that it was so close right here, because if you can see right here, that's a fuel filter. Dang. I didn't want the hot pipe so close to the fuel filter, and I didn't want to do all these weldings. So instead, this morning I came in and I said, slice, whoop. And I had this little bend here. I said, man, that looks perfect. So what I did is I set her up here and I made some lines, and Cody's here again actually to help me out, test fit. And this is about the 10th time now we've been under the truck just for this one piece here. But I'm finally happy with it. So I'm gonna weld this up, weld them lines up. And if we just look down yonder way, the rest of it's just gonna lay pretty darn perfect. I got it to sit right where I want to, where my hanger's gonna be sitting. I actually have to move the hanger over one hole. But man, a 1/2 inch off, that's perfect to me. And then the tailpipe, I haven't even looked at the tailpipe on the, behind the tire. But I'm happy with everything so far, so I'm pretty sure it'll work. We got the Phoebers with me today. She was not letting me leave the house without her, no matter what, all right? And I did say, yeah, I might miss my puppy, and that's not the puppy I'm talking about. You guys always see Phoebe because she likes to come to Grandpa's, but we just recently lost my best friend, Nazboo, aka White Dog. Little man had named him White Dog. You know, he went in for surgery to get a skin tag removed, and it didn't go as planned, all right? He's no longer with us, and it hurts a bunch, so that's why we keep at work, is to keep our mind off things. She is also here to help with both the truck and me. See? How can you not love a dog that just always wants to be right there? You say hi to the YouTubers? Here's a good girl. This is my buddy. Did he get you? Come here. Mwah. Today is going way smoother than the last 3, okay? So a little bit of sleep and a little bit of food will do ya. This is where we're at. This is the tailpipe piece from the muffler back. We got the rest of it from the header and the cat, and then we'll connect right here. That's all in the truck. And that's because we test fit it. Okay, yeah. And we found where we wanted to put our clamp. I drew some lines on it to make sure she wouldn't, if she did move, I knew what would happen or where to go. Cody also helped me out and drew some alignment lines on the tailpipe, and we got that sitting where we wanted it to. So at this point, we're gonna do some tacking. No, I lie. We're probably just gonna full send that tailpipe. And then we're gonna come back and sneak the frickin' pipe under the truck. It's a little long, so it's gonna be a little bit of a fight. And then we'll clamp the front section on both sides with a muffler clamp like this one. And maybe I'll put 2 on each side, you know, because they tend to leak. And then once I get those few things done, oh, yeah, I got the cross member. I gotta bolt the cross member back up because, yeah, you know. And then we'll put the key in it and we'll fire her up. And we'll do a sound test, baby. What is she? What? It's like 101 degrees out here. And she's like, I prefer the sun. What is wrong with that dog? Full send. Definitely initiated. You know, some booger welds here. And some booger welds there. It's ready to go on. Put some clamps on. Put the key in, I guess. One thing that I forgot to mention while I was putting this all stuff together is the mufflers. You know I got glass packs, but how to install them? I don't know how to install them. It doesn't say in or out on either side. So I just took a guess and I looked down yonder way and you could see all those little bumps in there. Looked like a cheese grater to me. I said, well, that's got to catch air and quiet it down, right? Because if you look down the other end, it was the opposite. It didn't catch. It looked like it would just go whoosh, and it wouldn't muffle. And I thought, why would I buy mufflers if I didn't want it to muffle, right? I just wasted 40 bucks if that was the case. So I tried to do my best. Hopefully I did it the right way. But once this stuff cools down here, we're gonna slap her in the truck and then give her a test fire. My Phoebers. She's a good doggy. She's a good doggy. All right, so we're down under the truck now. Our cat, it's in. And I don't know if you could see that, but this little metal bar here, she's touching the pipe. But I hope I can loosen the 3 bolts up here and just twist her over a little bit, tighten it back down. I still need to get my clamp right there. I got my alignment lines for where my tailpipe's supposed to sit. You can see it wandering back there. And you can tell, well, we got the muffler and everything welded up. We got our bracket in there. I might have to move that one over here so there's not pressure being able to push back on that, but we'll figure that out when we get to that point. I think it's time to put a key in this thing and see how she'll sound. Did one little final check. We got the transmission cross member bolted back up. Now we still don't have the clamps on the mufflers for the back half because I have to take it back out one more time because I have one more thing that I want to do to this stuff. So I think it's close enough though. We can put a jump box on this battery, put a key in it, test her out. So since I don't have the clamps up there, I got some support helpers with the jack to hold the tailpipes up. Let's put the keys in there. We got some lights and some fuel pressure. Are you guys ready? More fuel pressure. Did you hear it? Oh, wow. Do I like that rumble. Yeah, we don't have the gaskets in from, you know, the headers, well, I mean manifolds to the pipe. That's probably where the rattle's coming from. But just listen to that thing. Do we need a little rev? What do you guys think? YouTubies, I'm back. It's actually been like 2 days for me since we did our sound test. I know it's only been like 1 second for you guys, but I'm back now. I had some family stuff to take care of. Went and helped out, got it taken care of. Now we're back on this. I did take care of the one oxygen sensor thing that I needed to weld in. We got it welded in. It's there now. I also got most of the exhaust taken out. I have one piece in the truck, and that'll be this section for the passenger side. Now I'm waiting for that puppy to come out because I have to re-drop the cross member that holds the transmission up, and I kind of need help with the jack to be able to lower it and lift her back up and stuff like that. But there is a reason we're taking it out one more time. Can you guess why? Probably not, because it's really off the wall, and I've honestly never personally seen it done, but I've seen it done in pictures, and it's very minimal. Nobody does it. We're gonna paint the exhaust pipe. You heard me right. We're gonna paint the exhaust pipe. Yes. Why? Because I want to. I don't know really. Actually, I do. It's because I've done a few exhaust kits put together. Did my dad's maroon truck. I did Cody's blue truck. I also did Cody's Suburban. And we don't buy the fancy dancy stainless steel piping because it's expensive. You know, it's expensive. So instead, I just bought the cheap piping. And the cheap piping, after about a year, it rustulates, and it looks like it's been on there longer than the stock stuff did. So for this guy behind me here, I didn't want it to look like crap very fast, right? So I figured, let's put a coat of paint on it. Now I'm gonna admit, they do have like header paint that withstands like 2,000 degrees or whatever, but I'm not painting the headers. It's after that, right? And I couldn't find the color that I wanted in header paint, so I went with the second best, and that was engine enamel. And I picked this color. So I was reading here, and it withstands up to 500 degrees. That should be enough. And, well, if it burns it off, I tried. Alright? I tried. Now let me do some explaining as to why I'm using the color red. Because I'm that weirdo. Alright? I like things different. I just do. Silver pipes on a truck, that's been done multiple times. Actually, every exhaust kit that's ever been put together is most likely silver. Black, that's not cool, you know? So I was looking at the truck here, and it's got the red stripe down the side. And well, yeah, I can do that. And I also want to paint the whole truck red eventually. If it stays around long enough, I think this thing needs a lift, big tires, red paint job, roof rack, you know, all the goodies. But I don't know if it'll make it to that point. I don't know. So if it does, it'll have a red exhaust already ready to match the truck. If not, the red exhaust matches the red pinstripe. All right? So it's a win-win for me. Different's good, right? We're gonna try it out, and if it don't go well, you know, what is it but taking it back out and painting it silver, you know, with header paint instead or whatever. I don't know. We gained that piece that we were missing. I don't know if you can see it over there. I also came through with the wire brush and wire brushed every one of those welds all the way down these. So now it's time. We're just going to take this Squarebody pad, just do this with it. And then we'll spray her down with some brake clean and a rag, real fast like, and get to spraying. I got the first round done, and I just, you know, the first coat. This first coat, we'll just get it on there, you know. We got heavy spots, we got light spots, heavy spots and light spots, you know, light spots and heavy spots. And that's how a first coat should go, you know. It's just a little color, and I went a little heavier than I should have on the first coat, but I flipped her, flopped her. So I'm gonna give her 5 minutes here or so. Hopefully wait for this wind to calm down. Flip them back over again and give them a heavy good coat. And then we'll let it sit, flip her over again, you know? It would be easier if we can hang them and stuff like that, but as you can see, that's up there. And I don't want to get on the ladder just to hang some stuff, spray it, and then take it back down. It's just not worth it. So the same amount of work already on the ground, I'll take the groundwork. Time for a second coat. Here we have it. 2 coats, 2 cans of engine paint that probably won't make it, but they look cool. It looks cool. So the can says dry in an hour, and you can handle it in 3 hours. So I'm just gonna hang out. I'm gonna go have a warm snack with Grandpa, hang out with the Febres over there. let this stuff dry up, and then we'll stick her back in the truck for good. Tighten up all the bolts. We'll do another sound test, and then we'll go for another test drive. It's been a good hour, hour and a half. This stuff looks really cool. Get you a close up here. Well, I can't help myself. I want to get it in the truck. I feel like an hour and a half has been good enough. So let's just stick it in here. And if I gotta go buy a touch-up can, you know, which I'll probably have to, because how do you not put some scratches in it with concrete underneath? So we'll stuff it in there. I'll get a touch-up can, and then we'll do some cardboard and it'll look good. All right, well, we're down there, and I got the first piece of 3 nuts on. And I really dig how bright red it is down here. That's just me. Come over here though. And I need to get the cross member up. And then I'll get the rest of that pipe on, and I'll come back and get those bolts over here. Got the rest of that exhaust in. Man, it just looks neat. All red under here to me. Here's the outside view on what everyone else would see. Just look at that red puppy. I don't know. I really like that hanging out red way more than I thought I would. Since that side's about wrapped up, let's get these last few pieces on the driver's side so we can really get a good view of it, and then we'll have to fire her up again. I already forgot what it sounded like. We got the driver's side snuck in there. Looks cool, with both the red pipes coming through the bottom here. I really dig that red pipe. I don't know what it is. So we got both pipes installed all the way out. They look fabulous. And who knew what a weird idea would turn out so good. So let me put some light to the situation in here. Oh, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't really do many measurements when I just tack welded this up or nothing. But if you look from the body, we're about 5 1/8. And then from the tire, we're about 7 1/4. Not too bad, I think. Let's come to the passenger side here. We're at about 5 1/8, just like the other side. Then from the tire, we're at 6 3/4, 6 7/8, somewhere in that range. Not too bad to be within that close, you know, and not taking any measurements. I'm gonna take it as a win. And you're not gonna be able to notice the like 1/2 inch difference, you know, that's, no. From side to side, you won't notice. Even from the back side here, both pipes look really good. It's thumbs up if you couldn't see. Now, for not knowing completely what I was doing, you know, I did pretty good. And I don't do this every day. It took, well, for last week I did, okay? So the last 4 or 5 days, I've been working on this. And I could have got it done in one day if I'd have used the clamps that they came with. But those leak over time. I got a brand new welder, wanted to use it, so I figured I'd weld these up. The painting took a little extra time. We got other stuff in the way. But anyways, I like it. And for a kit that just sticks together and it comes out that good, I'm impressed. So I'm gonna quit my rambling, and the only things left to do now is clean up. Got a lot of mess. And test drive. So what do you think we're gonna do first? Of course, the test drive. Nobody likes the cleaning part. So I'm gonna put the jumper back on because, you know, we still have a crappy battery. So we'll use the jump box, start her up, take her for a spin. I don't know how long a one. I don't know. A short one? A long one? An all-nighter? I don't know. We got Grandpa's handy dandy jump box on. It's time to put the key in, sound her up. Every time after a project, I always get nervous to start it up, no matter what. That starter does not seem happy. Got a little bit of a tappy up here. I don't know if that's that starter or if it's something banging yet. I'll have to do some investigation. But that thing just sounds good. I'm happy, mostly, minus a little ticky-ticky. Alright, YouTubies, we're going to take this thing on a test drive. Now, I usually got you guys on a suction cup, but this round, I got you on the tripod because it was already set up. So you might fall over. I'll do my best to catch you. Oh yeah, no power steering still. coming in hot. YouTubie's down. Hang on there, guys. Well, there she sits with some beautiful red pipes. Now the test drive, she was short because it was short. And well, I got a big mess around me that I gotta clean up. So Grandpa's not all upset that I left it a mess. And I've already left it a mess for the last week. So I'm gonna clean up the best I can, put everything away. You know, like pretty much that whole table, bench needs to be cleared off. So I got some stuff to do, and that's mainly why I took a quick test drive. And that's where I'm gonna end the video. So if you enjoyed me putting some exhaust on this bad boy and hearing how she sounds now, please give me a like, comment what you think about my red pipes that I put on this bad boy. And don't forget to share it to your friends. And the most important, subscribe to see what other crazy stuff like this we do. So, stay motivated. We're here for a good time, not a long time. I appreciate you guys for watching.